It was one of those cold Salt Lake City mornings, when snow clouds gathered silently above, and every shrub along the street wore a quiet coat of frost, like nature was whispering a melancholy poem. Lily Moore, 17, stood by her bedroom window, holding a warm mug of coffee. Beyond the glass was the dream she'd been holding on to. A room of her own, a space that belonged only to her. A corner where her thoughts could breathe, where she didn't have to ask to exist. Just last week, her dad, Brian Moore, had called and said, "Lils, we're moving back. There's a new house, and your room's already waiting for you. Decorate it however you want." Those words had done something to her, a soft patch on an otherwise fractured bond. Her relationship with her dad had grown distant after the divorce. Her mom got full custody, and he had moved away to another city, with Becca, the woman he later married. Lily still remembered the first time her dad mentioned Becca. There had been a certain glow in his voice. But for Lily, it wasn't light. It was fog. Becca wasn't her mom. And when she found out they had married, something inside her shifted permanently. Still, when her dad said, "Your room is ready," Lily let herself believe again. She even made a Pinterest board. Sage green walls, fairy lights, a cozy reading chair, and a corkboard to pin her poem drafts. She had told her best friend Maria, all excited, "It's like I'll finally belong somewhere, you know? Like, not be a guest, not be extra." Lily's mom, Nicole, always warned her, "Don't expect too much from your dad. You'll only get hurt again." But Lily couldn't help it. This felt like maybe, just maybe, her dad was trying to be home again. That Saturday afternoon, when her mom dropped her at the station, light snow was already falling. In the back seat of the cab, Lily rolled up her sweater sleeve and read the last message from her dad again. "Drive safe, kiddo. The room's upstairs, second on the left. Can't wait to see your face when you walk in." When she arrived, the house stood like something out of a novel, a two-story blue home with a porch swing. Becca opened the door. "Oh, Lily, you've grown up so much," she said, giving her a hug, warm but unfamiliar. Her dad came down the stairs looking like the same man she once ran to as a kid, just a bit older, a little more tired, but smiling. "There's my girl," he said, taking her bag. A few minutes later, he pointed up the staircase. "Go on up, second door on the left. Check it out." Lily held her breath as she climbed. It felt like a dream was waiting on the other side of that door. She opened it slowly. Inside was a bed, but not hers. Neatly folded woolen shawls sat at the edge, next to a knitting basket. The walls had religious crosses, hand-woven pictures, and a lavender diffuser humming softly. In the corner, an old rocking chair creaked slightly. Then a voice behind her said, "Oh, sweetheart, you found me." It was Becca's mother, June. White hair, slightly hunched, but eyes sharp and alert. "I hope you don't mind me staying in this room. Brian said you'd understand." Lily stood still for a moment, like her blood had turned into cold air. She looked back at her dad, now standing behind her. "Dad?" Her voice barely made it out. Brian looked away. "I was gonna tell you. We had to let June move in. Her back's gotten worse and the stairs," Lily cut in. "But you said this was my room. You said—" Becca stepped forward. "We didn't think it'd matter that much. It's just a room. You can stay in the den for now." In that moment, everything became crystal clear. Her Pinterest board, her dreams, the reading chair, they were just decorations in her imagination. That night at dinner, everyone talked casually about the new neighborhood, grocery stores, which church service was better. Lily sat there, staring at her plate, feeling a hollow space inside her. Her food was untouched. She couldn't feel hunger, only absence. "Eat, honey," June said. "I'm not hungry," Lily replied. Her dad sighed. "Don't start this, Lily." She stood up quietly and walked toward the den. There was a couch, some old pillows, a blanket. And that night, as snow fell outside, Lily felt, for the first time, completely foreign in her own family. She texted her mom. "He gave my room to June. I want to come back." Her mom started typing, then paused. Finally, the reply came, "You're exaggerating again, Lil. Just try to adjust. You want it to go." Lily set the phone down. That night, she realized, home isn't a place. And promises? They're like wallpaper, beautiful, but they peel off when you least expect them to. It was Sunday morning. Snow had settled thick on car hoods outside, and the sky had turned a pale blue. But inside Lily, the cold was deeper, quieter. She was still curled up in the den, tucked into the couch cushions like she could disappear. Sleep had abandoned her last night. Every time she closed her eyes, she saw June's face. Then Dad's voice echoed, "Don't start this, Lily." A notification popped up on Instagram early that morning. Her heart skipped. Maybe Mom replied to my story. But it wasn't her mom. It was, "Kaylee Moore liked your story." Kaylee, her cousin, Brian's brother's daughter, the same cousin who had once joked about Lily's illness 2 years ago. Maybe if you didn't act so depressed, your dad would like you more. And now? A like on her story. Lily blocked her right then and there. A few minutes later, a text came from her mom. "How's it going?" Lily replied, "My room's a lie. They gave it to Grandma. I slept on the couch. Please let me come back." No reply, not for a while. Then finally, "Don't be dramatic. You're 17. Learn to deal with life." Lily threw the phone aside. She pulled out an old paper tucked under the pillow. SLC Dreams Plan, My Room Colors, Chair, Bookshelf Placement. Each line now looked heavy, inked in disappointment. By evening, she opened her laptop and checked her email. School assignments were piling up. But the first tab open in her browser? A Reddit thread she always came back to when she felt like this. Raised by narcissists. How to emotionally survive when both parents weaponize guilt. A new message came in on Instagram. A DM. From Rachel Becca. "Just so you know, your dad is trying. Maybe appreciate that instead of always playing victim. No offense." Lily paused, took a breath, then took a screenshot and saved it. That evening, her mom called. "Lils?" Her voice was firm but fake. "Yeah? Brian said you didn't even say thank you to June. She's old, you know. Be respectful." "Mom." Lily's voice shook. "He promised me that room. He said it was mine. I packed for my room, not for a couch, not to be told I'm dramatic." "Sweetheart." Her mom's voice softened. "Don't ruin your relationship with your father. I didn't raise you to be bitter. Maybe you didn't raise me at all." The call cut off. That night, the comments started showing up on her Instagram story. "Bet she's crying again over a sofa." "KM drama queen alert. Girl, move on already." Hayden.Ash. She couldn't understand how they were tagging her. Then it hit her. Kaylee had screenshotted her story and sent it to the family group chat. Now they were all calling her attention seeker. She locked herself in the bathroom. Staring into the mirror, she whispered to her reflection, "Am I really overreacting? Was it really just a room?" But then she remembered that night 2 years ago, when her mom tore up her drawings in a rage because Lily had sketched a picture of her dad. Or the day she came home from school and her mom said, "I hope you didn't cry in class again. You're embarrassing." All the little things began to feel heavy, one by one, piling on her chest. She came back downstairs. Her dad was in the living room. "Dad," she said. Her voice was low but clear. He put the paper down. "Yeah? You promised me that room." He looked at her, then said, "You're still on about that?" "Because you lied." Brian stayed quiet for a moment. It wasn't a lie, Lily. It was a change in plan. Don't take everything so personally. Then don't say it like a promise. From upstairs, Becca shouted, "Dinner's ready." June made soup. Lily didn't say a word. She put on her boots and walked out the door. The cold wind slapped her face as the door shut behind her. She called her mom. "Hi, Mom. Are you crying again? Do I have a room at home?" Her mom stayed silent for a few seconds. "Your room's full of boxes. I told you that before." Lily's eyes were already wet. "Then where do I go?" "Maybe sleep on the floor. We'll figure it out tomorrow." Lily ended the call and sat on the bench outside. The wind around her was biting, but the cold inside her, that was worse. That's when she finally understood. This wasn't about a room. This was about identity, about a connection tied to her name that no longer held any warmth. It was Monday afternoon. Lily returned to the house that was supposed to be her new home, but never truly became one. Her mom hadn't picked her up after school. She'd just sent an Uber along with a short message. "Brian's expecting you. Be polite this time." The front door was already open. From the living room, she could hear June laughing. In the kitchen, dishes clinked softly. Lily nodded at Becca without saying a word and walked straight to the den, back to her old towel and that thin blanket. But there was no comfort there. The holes in the wall were still there. The door still had no lock. Every breath she took felt like a reminder. You're not meant to be here. A few minutes later, her dad called out, "Lils, can you come to the table?" We're all sitting down together. Her heart skipped. We're all sitting down together. He had never said it like that before. It sounded official, like a ceremony, or something worse. Lily walked over to the dining table. June was already seated, hands folded in front of a hot bowl of soup. Becca had tied her hair back and wore a strange, polite smile. And her dad. He sat rubbing his hands together like a lawyer rehearsing a case. "Come, sit," he said. Lily pulled out a chair and sat down slowly. Becca spoke first. "Lily, we all care about you, but it feels like you're resisting everything good we try to offer." Lily blinked. "Good? You mean like lying about my room?" June interrupted. "Sweetheart, sometimes adults have to make decisions, sacrifices. Was it a sacrifice when you took the room and left me with a couch?" Her throat tightened. Her dad raised a hand. Okay, let's just stay calm. This isn't a fight." "Then what is it?" Lily asked. Her voice trembled, but her eyes were steady. Becca answered gently. "It's an intervention." That word wasn't foreign to Lily. She'd seen shows on Netflix about them, where families confront addicts or people with toxic behavior. But she never imagined one would be held for her. By them. Intervention? For what? Her palms began to sweat. Her dad said, "You've been acting out, Lily. You say we betrayed you. You post about us online. You tell your mom half-truths. You need to take some accountability." "Accountability?" Her voice cracked. "You mean I should apologize for expecting a promise to be kept?" "Your expectations are unreasonable," June said flatly, like delivering a verdict. "You think the world revolves around you." Lily's face hardened. She wasn't holding back tears now. Becca leaned in, voice low and syrupy. "Honey, trauma doesn't make you special." That line hit her chest like a hammer. Lily stood up. The chair scraped backward. "I'm not broken," she said, voice cold and sharp, "but you're trying damn hard to break me." Her dad rose. "Sit down. We're not done." Lily didn't answer. And this time, there was no shame in her eyes. No fear. Only stillness. She walked into the kitchen, opened the fridge, pulled out the milk. Without a word, she poured it into a glass. She carried the glass back to the table, every eye on her. She looked at her dad. Remember when I was 9 and I spilled milk on this table? You made me stand for an hour as punishment. You said, actions have consequences. She picked up the glass and slowly poured it out across the center of the dining table. Milk pooled in silence. Then she said, "So does silence." And she walked away, back toward the den. That night, no one called her for dinner. But she wasn't hungry. She lay there, like a broken bed frame. But something had shifted. There was something inside her now. Something new. A kind of defiance. Later that night, she wrote a note. "If I leave, no one will ask where I went. They'll just say, 'She was too sensitive.' Maybe I am. But maybe the world needs more people who can feel." She folded it and tucked it into her bag, and she made a promise to herself. "Next time I speak, it won't be to apologize. It'll be to finally be heard." It was Wednesday evening. The sun was setting, but the darkness growing inside Lily was something no light could chase away. She typed the same message twice and deleted it. "Can I stay the night?" The message was meant for her friend Maria. Finally, she found the courage. "Maria, can I come over tonight? Just for a night or two. I can't stay here anymore." No reply for 5 minutes. Each second felt like she was holding her breath underwater. Then, "Of course, come now, door's open." After that, everything happened fast. She threw a few clothes, her diary, and a charger into her bag. Her laptop was already taken away by her mom, who had said, "Your attitude will improve once your screen time runs out." Lily didn't care. All she needed was a window to get out. She called an Uber and left the house quietly. June, Becca, and Brian were all in the kitchen, prepping dinner or pretending their lives were calm and well-ordered. No one looked at her. No one asked anything. When she reached Maria's house, it felt like someone had lifted a boulder off her chest. "God, Lily." Maria hugged her tightly. "Are you okay?" Lily broke down in silence. Maria didn't ask any questions. She just gave her a blanket, handed her a mug of warm cocoa, and they both sat down on the floor. They talked until 2 a.m. Lily shared everything. The dining table, intervention, the humiliation of the storage room, the Instagram DMs, and her mother's cold silence. "Lily," Maria said, "this isn't just unfair. This is abuse. Just because it's not physical doesn't mean it's not real." Lily's voice trembled. "But what do I do? Where do I even go? I don't have anyone else." Maria held her hand. "Then you stay here. For now." But the escape didn't last long. The next morning, when Lily's mom found out she was at Maria's, there was first an icy silence. Then, by evening, Nicole pulled up in her car and rang the doorbell herself. Maria's mom opened the door. "Is Lily here?" Nicole's voice was clipped and formal, like chilled glass. Maria went inside to get Lily. Lily stepped out slowly, her bag in hand, but her heart full. "Get in," her mom said. "Why?" "Because I said so. Will I sleep on the floor again?" Nicole slapped her hand against the car door. "Stop acting like a victim. You made this mess. Get in." Lily stood there for a moment, then quietly got into the car. The drive back was silent. No apology, no explanation, just silence. When they got home, Lily saw her things had been moved, not back to the den, but to the storage room. A tiny room that once held old Christmas decorations, broken tools, and extra chairs. Now it had a mattress, no sheet. She stepped inside. As the door closed behind her, she realized this wasn't escape. This was punishment. Somewhere her mom and dad had silently decided, "We won't hit you. We'll just erase you." That night, lying under the blanket, Lily checked her phone. A message from Maria. "You okay?" Lily typed, "Back in the box. At least now I know where I belong." No reply came. And maybe, It didn't need to, because Lily understood now. Escape happens once. Running away again and again isn't living. This time she wouldn't run. She would change. From the inside, quietly, steadily. She just needed a plan. The air in the storage room carried a different kind of suffocation. Not just because there were no windows, but because this room was never meant for a person. The walls were cold. The old pipes in the ceiling echoed randomly, and the mattress on the floor was neither soft nor clean. But this was Lily's room now. The evening started like a sentence had been handed down in court. Her mom had simply said, "Stay in here until you learn how to respect people." And a message from her dad followed. "Don't even think about running again. I can call the cops and have you brought back." Lily sat there with just a notebook and a pen in her hand. The same notebook where she once wrote down her college scholarship plans, SAT prep notes, and her first poem. Now it read, "I am not a daughter. I am a tenant. An unpaid, unwanted, undocumented tenant." That same evening, her mom took her phone too. Why? "You keep messaging people making us look bad. Enough." Now she had no connection, no voice. The next day at school, her teacher, Mr. Danvers, tried to check in. "Lily, you look tired. Everything okay at home?" She lowered her head, then softly said, "Just family stuff." "Do you want to talk to the counselor?" "Not yet," she whispered, because she knew, if she said anything, her parents would punish her in ways that would be worse. Her mother had once threatened foster care when Lily cried in front of a teacher. Back home, the routine was the same. Grab food from the kitchen, eat silently in the storage room. No conversations, no check-ins. Sometimes June would stand at the door and ask, "Are you still upset?" Lily wouldn't answer, because now she understood. In this house, answers weren't expected. Only submission. On the third night, rain was falling. The walls of the storage room had grown damp. Near her pillow, she found an old book, To Kill a Mockingbird. She started reading, and for the first time, she heard her voice inside someone else's story. Her fear in someone else's fear. Her fight in someone else's fight. There was a line on the page. "People generally see what they look for and hear what they listen for." Lily wrote beneath it, "They see a rebel. They don't see a girl who begged to be loved." The next morning, her mother opened the door. "Get up. You're not staying home." "Okay. Eat breakfast." "I'm not hungry." Her mother snapped, "You'll eat what's made or nothing." Lily smiled faintly. Nothing sounds good. She went to school, but all day her clothes felt damp, like the moisture from that room had soaked into her skin. During lunch, her friend Maria came up and asked, "Did you write that essay for the scholarship app?" Lily replied, "No point. I won't even have a laptop by the time results come." "Then write it by hand. I'll scan and submit it." "Why do you care?" Lily asked, her voice worn and tired. Maria's answer was simple. "Because you don't deserve that room. You deserve a dorm." Those words didn't cut. They healed. That evening, Lily sat on the cold floor of the storage room and began writing her scholarship essay by hand. The first line read, "I don't come from a place of comfort. I come from a storage room where the lights flicker and expectations suffocate. But still, I dream." Her mother knocked on the door. "Are you doing homework?" Lily didn't respond. "Dinner's on the counter. Eat if you want. And just so you know, the parental tracker on your phone is staying on now." "Okay," Lily said calmly. Her battle now had no noise, no shouting, no defiance, because now she knew. Some punishments don't come through yelling. They come through the slow erosion of trust. And that trust was quietly rebuilding, in a plan, in a scholarship, in the belief that someday, somewhere, This door wouldn't exist anymore. She would have already walked past it. Lily woke up every morning at 5 a.m., not because of an alarm. Her mom had muted her phone. But she didn't need a clock anymore. Her body had learned. Or maybe that room had taught her how to befriend the dark before the light came. A lot had changed in the last 4 weeks. She now used the school computer lab to fill out scholarship forms, scanned handwritten essays, and watched YouTube tutorials to figure out the FAFSA form by herself. While the other students laughed and joked in groups, Lily sat alone in a corner, wrestling with paperwork, shaping a future with words. She finally spoke to her counselor, Ms. Carlson. "Do you feel safe at home, Lily?" Lily paused, then quietly answered, "I feel invisible." That's safer than being noticed. Ms. Carlson looked into her eyes and said, "We can't force parents to love right, but we can help you love yourself right." That day, Lily wrote something new. Love is not the opposite of abuse. Dignity is. On her way home, her mom asked, "Why are you late?" "I was with the counselor," Lily replied. Her mother's face stiffened. "Why would you do that?" "Because someone needed to listen." She wasn't afraid anymore. Her dad didn't speak to her, except one text. "I heard you're talking to school staff about us. Don't make this worse than it is." Lily took a screenshot, didn't reply, because she wasn't living to respond anymore. She was living to protect herself. With Ms. Carlson's help, she applied for a donated laptop through a low-income student fund. When she opened the box, tears welled up in her eyes. It wasn't just a machine. It was a window into a world they tried to close off. She opened a new document, title, Personal Statement, Who I Am, and wrote, "I am not angry. I am awake. I am not bitter. I am building. I am not lost. I am locating my voice." With every word, she was rediscovering herself. She had made up her mind. College wouldn't be her escape. It would be her launch. Her mother found out when Lily handed her the FAFSA documents and asked for a signature. "Are you serious about this?" her mom asked. "Yes." "You're really leaving?" "No," Lily replied. "I'm finally arriving." She looked at June once more, the woman still living in the room that was once promised to her. Lily bowed her head gently and said, "I forgive you, but I won't forget." June said nothing. She just stared off into the distance. That night, Lily placed one last thing in the storage room, a handwritten note taped quietly in the corner of the wall. "This isn't a room. This was a reminder of everything I survived, of everything I will never settle for again." Weeks later, when her college admission was confirmed and the scholarship letter arrived, she wasn't alone. Maria stood beside her. Ms. Carlson hugged her. And Lily looked in the mirror and smiled at herself. And when she boarded the bus, leaving the streets of Salt Lake City behind, she pulled out that old page, the one with the Pinterest board plan for her dream room. She smiled. She didn't need wallpaper anymore. She needed bricks, a foundation, and the kind of respect that came from within. She whispered to herself, "Now I live for me." Friends, if you like this video, then please like the video and subscribe to the channel and tell us in the comment how the story is.